Hi, everyone, and welcome to Dream Life Loading's channel. I'm Skye, I'm the creative director here.
And I'm Susan. I'm the founding owner. um,
So cool to say.
I know. It's like it rolls off the tongue though, like Dream Life Loading's owner. Like I love it. So Dream Life Loading is our store that we both run and operate and own. And our mission is to empower people to create their dream lives by reaching and realizing their fullest potential. So right now it's starting with apparel, but eventually it's going to lead into digital courses, obviously anything social media that we can interact and talk to you guys. Um, so yeah, that's where we're at right now, but it's gonna grow.
And it's kind of wild to even hear you say like the mission statement that we've put together because I feel like yes, this is what Dream Life Loading is right now, but you and I have kind of been having this whole philosophy since we met almost 4 years ago. So it's
Yeah,
amazing that like this all came to be the way it is now, but we've been empowering each other and empowering people around us since we met freshman year of college.
right. So let's start there. Like let's start
That's
where we met
perfect.
and
Yep.
get into it. I'm gonna grab my coffee. It's gonna be like when we were sitting in the coffee shop in Durham. So we met at UNH, which is the University of New Hampshire, in what was it, 2018? Yeah, the fall. So we happened to be living on the same floor in our like big freshman dorm, which they were the biggest dorms on campus, right?
And I don't know, I wanted anything but that dorm.
Yeah, me too.
Yep. And I put down like on the little like fill out sheet, it was like, what dorms do you want? And I picked all the teeny tiny ones and I didn't want freshmen only. I was like, I don't want to be in a party dorm. So I purposely picked ones that weren't and I got thrown in the 800-person freshman only
It
dorm.
was just so much further from all of our buildings too. Like we had to walk a minimum of a mile to get anywhere. And in Durham in the winter, it is the coldest, worst, wet place to be in the whole wide world. Like it is just miserable because you have like the ocean coldness and the like dampness almost.
Oh yeah,
And
it's
it's
terrible.
brutal because I grew up in northern New Hampshire in the mountains, and it's still not half as cold as it was in Durham because
Really?
you can never be dry.
That okay, that makes so much sense because like here I'm in northern Italy right now and it's well it's not going to be that cold, as cold as it was last year. We were a lot more northern last year and it was like beautiful. So I think honestly, if it's pretty, it helps how cold it is because if I
That
look out and
I
it
agree.
looks like a Hallmark movie, I'm going to be a lot more happy about the snow than I am in Durham when it's like brown slush and I'm walking a
Uh-huh.
mile and a half to my freshman dorm.
That which is terrible. So, anyways, we met. We met the first day we moved into that dorm because we had like a floor meeting or whatever, and then but we weren't. I don't even know if we talked that day. We
I
might have.
remember, I think, I mean, it wasn't even just like it was the first day. It was literally, we had moved into college for the first time ever. So everyone was just clinging to their roommate because it was the only person you met.
Right. So then we moved in on what, like probably a Thursday. Like we had the whole weekend to like
Mhm.
get settled. And then we started classes Monday. And I don't think we realized we were in the same class from hell on that Monday, but we very quickly realized that we knew each other.
It was actually my roommate at the time because I remember that class met Monday, Wednesday, 3:40 to 5. That I will never, ever forget anything about that class.
A
So
witching hour.
I had went Monday and Wednesday, I think, and I was complaining to my roommate, and I was like, "This is the hardest." Like I knew college was gonna be hard, but like this, something is not right about this class. Like I don't know how I'm gonna make it through this and that. And she was like, "I don't know how she knew that you were in that class because she wasn't in that class with us."
Yeah, I don't
But
know.
maybe she saw you walking to class, or maybe you know what it was? She saw the roster because I was like looking through it to see if
Oh,
there was anyone, and she was like, "Oh, Susan's on our floor. Like you should reach out to her." And I was like, "Okay, like I'll do anything at this point, like whatever." And that's where it began.
and so I thought the same thing. I was like, maybe I'm just, of course, this was the very first class I ever went to. Like, I didn't have classes before that Monday.
Oh, I
So,
forgot
my very
about
first
that.
on campus class, because I took college classes in high school, but like, this was my first university class in person. And I was like, I am not qualified for college. Like, I am not smart enough for this. I'm not going to survive. My parents are going to be so disappointed that I'm a college dropout. And then we ended up talking, and you're like, I have no clue what's going on. And I was like, okay, so I'm not the only one. And there was only a handful of freshmen in that class, even though it was a level 500.
And so it was 500, which technically would have been like a sophomore level class for us. And we were both, at the time, both English majors, and this was an English course. So when they assigned me the 500 level, I was like, no problem, like that'll be fine, whatever. But I remember I never wanted to be in that class. I had signed up for this easy 400 level class about like monsters. So we'd read Frankenstein and like all these like fantasy monster books. I was so excited for it, but they told me it was full and they put me in that class instead. Is that what happened to you?
I don't know how I got there. I know I was in the wrong classroom to start before I got there
You
on the
stayed
first
there.
day. Yep. Which probably would have been a better place for me, but then I wouldn't have met you and we wouldn't have survived that
Right.
together. But anyways, I guess long story short, we got put in this terrible, terrible class. And we were each other's like lifeline. Like I
Yeah.
literally wouldn't have survived. I would have dropped out because I would have
Oh,
been
yeah.
so scared if it
Yep.
wasn't for having like a buddy.
I mean, we are now both fully college educated with degrees, and that is by far the hardest class I have ever taken in my life. Like, there is
It
nothing
was
compares.
hard for no reason. It wasn't that the material was hard. It's that the material was given to us in terrible increments. And then and I have a teaching degree. Like
Oh,
just
yeah.
the teaching wasn't there. It was atrocious. But
It
we're
felt
three
to give like I don't want to give too much information about it, but I want people to understand why it was so terrible. I
and then
think
we're not just sitting here complaining about it. Like
right.
it was
Like so we
actually
were given
atrocious.
this packet and I think it was about a 35-page packet. And we were told to annotate the packet, read and annotate. Easy, done. Like we can all do that. We all went to high school. So I remember we all annotated and like Susan and I are very good note takers. Like you can see the books we read. Like there's notes in the margins all the time. Like we are note takers. So we both go in and I'm like, "Oh, like how much did you write?" And I had like probably 3 to 4 sentences on each page and like highlights, all this and that. Like it looked like we had read this packet. And our professor told us that this was nowhere near enough. We should be like annotating every single sentence and like ripping apart
Every
every
word.
sentence and every single word. And you should be looking up the dictionary definitions of every single word and writing them in the margins. And we were like, and that was just the beginning, but it was like, okay, this is day one. We are 18 years old, and now we don't even know how to annotate. And then it was downhill from there. Like, I mean, I'll be perfectly honest. I finished that class with a C minus, and I have
Yeah,
never gotten anywhere near a grade since then. Like,
I think I got a C
you
plus.
did. I'll never forget.
It was because of that
Liked you.
essay that he put in the wrong pile. Oh,
Yeah,
I
it was,
can't. We should do a
and
whole
yeah,
video on just that.
yeah.
I
But
still have all my notes from that class. I'll show you one day, guys.
really, oh my
Oh
God.
yeah, I have that. It's hidden under my bed. It's like the monster under my bed.
But we will, I mean, it's been 4 years and we are still horribly scarred by this, but it had a good outcome because for a few reasons. I think having that be your first class of college really set the standard because everything else was easier. And honestly, I can't really complain about that because if I had that class as a senior and like, it would have been worse.
Yeah.
So, and I met Susan and we survived, we survived that together.
Yeah, we did.
And then I guess because so you were at UNH for a year and a half,
Yeah.
and we never had it. Oh yeah, we had one other class together,
What
sophomore
class?
year.
What did we do together?
It was in the English building. It was 419. I don't remember the name of the
Oh
class.
yes. Wasn't that wasn't second semester?
It
No,
might have
that
been.
was first semester because I was living in my single because that day that we ditched and we went to Saxby's because
Yes.
you came and you're like, I just can't go. And I was like, thank God I can't go either because we
Yep.
walked that class together.
That class was fine. It was just horrifically boring. So
It was.
after first semester, we took the boring class and we were very happy about it.
We were very satisfied with that level.
Oh yeah. Yep. And I
Yep.
think that was the last class we had together because then you transferred to Plymouth for
Spring of 2020.
so
Right.
spring of
So then the
sophomore
following semester, we still saw each other. We still went to the gym and
year.
coffee dates and all that jazz.
I don't know how it started that we became gym buddies. Honestly, I think it was similar to how we met because of that class is that we both kind of were like, I want to go to this gym, but I'm kind of intimidated by the fact that it's a giant college. And then it just
Yeah.
kind of grew from there. So back to it, it's always been about helping and empowering each other.
Yep.
From the
100%.
beginning. Ugh.
Aw.
That's sweet. I didn't like it's I didn't ever really put that together. Like obviously that's how it's been, but no, we would sit in like this amazing little coffee shop in Durham and like do homework together for
No,
hours and read and like Anna Kate, our buddy, would make us the best matchas and it was good.
lemonade.
Durham in the fall is nice. That is like Durham in the winter is terrible, but Durham in the fall is pretty perfect. So sitting
Yes.
there with your matcha latte and B&G can't get much better than that.
Nope, it really couldn't.
But now here we are, and we're almost 4,000 miles apart, and we can still do a very similar thing.
Yep,
So I
we
think
really
that's
can.
cool. I guess we kind of explained a little bit about what Dream Life Loading is, but is there anything else we want to cover? Maybe if people have questions, definitely
Yeah,
let us
definitely drop questions for us. We should do a Q&A. We should just pop it
know.
on Instagram, and that can be, we can throw it in the schedule. So dream life loading is a term that we kind of came up with just talking to each other. I think we were both kind of in a place, I mean, I won't speak for you, but I was in a place where I felt stagnant and I wasn't satisfied, but I didn't really know where I was supposed to be going. I had this degree. I had just got my first big girl job as a teacher. I was teaching high school English, and I just wasn't, I knew it wasn't the right spot, but I knew I had a lot of work to do on myself. So it just became a thing like, oh, dream life loading. Like it kind of sucks now, but like we're getting there. Like it's going to get better. I'm going to get to where I want to be. And it was literally coined in our text messages. Like I could never scroll back because we have miles of messages at this point. But I remember saying it to you for the first time. And then, yeah, absolutely. And then the end of last year, like last December, around this time, I made a Facebook community page called Dream Life Loading. And it didn't really have direction. It was supposed to be like a New Year's resolution place where like it was a community and we'd all support each other and cheer each other on for our goals. But I was so preoccupied with like surviving teaching that I didn't put all the pieces together. So then we were talking like we do. What was it? September? It was so I got married in September 24th. Within 2 weeks of that, right, was when I came to you and I was like, Dream Life Loading. And you immediately knew what I was talking about. And I was like, okay, but like as a store, like let's do it as a store. And I think that's when
I think it happened even later than that because I moved to Italy
you're right.
October 19th.
Yep.
And so, I mean, kind of similar to Susan, I graduated in May with a degree, a minor in journalism. So I've always been a writer, and I started off at UNH as an English major, and I switched that to a minor, and I went to school for event planning. So I did internships and jobs and everything relating to wedding planning and event planning and running an event, all of that. And I knew I wanted to move here. My boyfriend's playing hockey here, and I wanted to be in Italy. So I didn't graduate with a job, which was a really weird feeling for like someone like me or someone like Susan that is so like planner oriented. So not having that plan, and kind of similar to Susan where you had this plan but it didn't feel right. And so I moved here in October and kept saying to Susan, it was like, yeah, I want this job that doesn't exist, but it'll like this is the dream job, is that I can work wherever and I can work doing what I love to do, which is empowering people and sharing tips on everything, self-help and fashion and writing. I love to write. So it kind of like when you came to me and you were like, this is it. It was like you just created the dream that we've been talking about.
And we had always been like, when you said you had like didn't have your job but you were moving to Italy, we were talking about that. Like how many times did I say to you, your dream job's just going to land in your lap? Like we were visualizing this. I was sending you pictures of you like traveling and writing and fashion related and self-care stuff. Like we were literally sending each other pictures like, this is the dream life. This is what we want.
And it was the craziest thing. I will never forget. So Susan had sent me, Susan's so good with Pinterest. It's amazing. Like I remember I was babysitting back where in New Hampshire, and we were texting about like it'll work out, like I just can't stress about it because then it won't work, like this is, and Susan was like, well, tell me what you want and I'm gonna find the pictures of it on Pinterest and you're gonna manifest it, like that's what we're gonna do. And she sent me this photo of this blonde girl working at a desk with all this pink around her, and there were these mountains and her coffee and her journal, and she was like, this is your setup. And I got here, and 2 or 3 days later, I'm sitting outside with my journal with the mountains in the background. And Susan was like, Skye, that's the photo. And it was way too close to not like it. Like it was the wildest feeling because we did it. Like we literally created exactly what we wanted.
And I think it took that for us to realize like, oh, wait, we can actually do this. Like if we can be very clear on exactly what we want, we can create it. Why are we not creating everything that we consume? Why are we not writing the Pinterest photos that I'm sending to you every morning? Why are we not creating apparel that we want? Why are we not producing the things we use every single day and making it a positive way of getting other people involved too? And like being those cheerleaders for everyone, that you can do anything you want to do. You can be anyone you want to be. And I feel like that voice, like collectively, especially when I was teaching, I saw like a lot of my kids didn't have that, or they didn't know that they could have that. Like they can be anything. And we just want to be that voice. Like we want our products to serve as a reminder of like, hey, your dream life is loading, but you need to work on it. Like you can't just sit back and expect it to happen. It takes work, it takes being clear, and it takes being focused. But we can break all of that stuff down for you and give you the tools that you need. Because like we're doing it, we're still learning. Like all of this is a learning process. Neither of us have a business degree, but we're running a business. Like we're making it work. And I think that's kind of the point is like, but I think it's funny too, is that dream life loading, but like I'm living my dream life right now. You got the text this morning at 3:50 a.m. my time.
Yeah, so it's 9:50 here, and I get a text from Susan, and I'm like, it is 3:50 in the morning. It's like, why is Susan like 10 a.m.? That makes sense to me, but 3:50, that is a big difference. And you were awake.
And I was just so excited. I was like, it's podcast day. Like I'm so excited. I literally woke up excited about my life. And a year ago today, that was not my reality. Like you definitely know the difference between me a year ago versus now. And my life looks the same, but it's so different. And like your life looks very different, but you've also grown so much too. Like, I just want everyone to feel this way. And I think that's what our mission is just to have people be genuinely and consistently happy. I think that was my issue last year. Not that I'm like trying to overanalyze here, but like I would have bursts or little pockets of happiness where now it's consistent and it makes a difference in everything that I do.
And I think that whole idea of happiness is that you stopped trying to like find the happiness and you created it for yourself.
Yep.
So now it's not like, oh, well, I wonder if like when I go to the office today, if it's going to be a good day and if I'll be happy today. It's no, I've decided that I will be happy and here's what I've done to make sure that no matter what is happening around me, I am happy or I am content. Like what, you know, and I think that's honestly too, like that's the brand here is that you control whatever you want.
Yeah. Like success is an option that we choose every single day. Happiness is an option that we choose every single day. And don't get me wrong, bad things still happen. But when you focus, and it's so cliche, but when you focus on the good, it gets better. Mm-hmm. And it's really true. Like you have to change your mindset before anything else changes. But I think a big part of changing your mindset is changing what you're seeing, what you're consuming, what you're surrounded with. And I think our products or whatever we're putting out, even if it's just something we're posting on Instagram, I think everything that we do, we're putting so much positive energy into it and time and like planning that like it's inevitable. Anyone who crosses paths with Dream Life Loading is going to be like, even feel the spark of like, oh, like I can do it or I want to do it. Like, I don't know.
I think I have to go back to what you said about mindset. Like, so Susan and I are both very anxious girlies. And that's something that
we should have an anxious girly like crew.
So this is what happens with Susan and I is we'll say one thing and then it turns into a company. But yeah, so Susan and I were both
It does. It works.
we're both very anxious girlies, but it works in a lot of ways because we like to keep going and like we never stop. And so that's how things like this happen. But I think changing your mindset and choosing what you're going to allow to upset you, that's been such a huge thing that
Mhm.
we've both been working on. And I think it all ties back around to this whole dream life loading concept of that, like, you decide how you react to anything. And for me, I definitely have noticed, like, even in the past 6 months, since, or less than that, even since just graduating college alone in May, the way I react to things and the way I decide to not react to things. I'll give a brief example of when my first time ever driving alone in Italy and I get up to try and leave a parking garage and it's screaming at me in Italian that I did not in fact pay my parking ticket and I have to turn around. And Skylar a year ago would have been crying and screaming and probably would have just left the car and walked away, like freaking out, like frozen, not knowing how to handle that situation. And instead, I was like, you know what? This could happen to anyone. I laughed it off. I turned my little car around and went back down and paid and went right back up. And I Snapchatted a story about it and laughed.
Yeah.
So I think you can choose how you react to anything. And obviously, there are situations where you're going to be upset and you're going to not be happy. And that's very valid. And it's important to point out that not every day is going to be the cheery, productive, happy day. And we're here to support you on those days too. You know, like even today, I was like, I'm going to be out for a couple hours. And we were both like, we've been doing a lot and get burnout
A lot.
happens and it's okay. And it's better to acknowledge it instead of pushing through.
Yep.
So that was kind of
I
a
think
tangent, but yeah.
so. Our business has been open for 2 weeks, 11 days, 12 days. Yeah. So 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. Almost
Yeah. It'll be 2 weeks on
lunch on
Friday.
Friday. So yeah.
Yeah. And we're both list doers. Like we get a to-do list and we need to like get through it or else we aren't successful. And we were just talking about this last week. With this business, it's growing quickly, which is great. We're so thankful for it. But that means our to-do list like literally never stops. There's always one thing after the other. And I was feeling the burnout the beginning of this week. I was like, I'm just going to stop doing one of the challenges we're running. We're going to just be done with it. And then we were like, all right, let's relook at our mindset here and like what we're doing and how we're doing it. And I think the business has really forced both of us to slow down and be like, just because we don't get our full to-do list done in a day doesn't mean we weren't successful. We changed our mindset and then look at how much we got done in the last 3 days. Like it's actually been ridiculous how much we've done in the last 3 days.
Yeah. Wow.
We've done the work of like 10 people
Yeah.
while both working other jobs.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
we don't do this full time yet.
No.
We will, but
Mhm.
right now we're both balancing everything. But
I think it's a really like I don't know the word I'm looking for, but not being able to cross off everything on your to-do list is a lesson that we probably should have had to learn in college, but because of how crazy we both are, like there were very few days when that didn't happen to me in college, and it was usually out of my control. And in this case, it is out of our control, but it's also us learning like it's learning to prioritize, which we've never really had to do because we've usually just figured out how to get it all done. And in this case, you cannot build a business in a day.
Rome wasn't built overnight.
No.
Yeah, no. But I think that really sums up like who we are, where we're at. We are moving forward, but
Yeah, every
you
day.
know, every day.
Yeah.
What's
So I
next on
guess
the
that was
agenda?
a really, really long way to explain who
Yes.
we are and what it is. But I think that that's kind of us is that we want to share this excitement that I hope you guys can see that like every day, like we'll share the little joys and the big joys and the progress and whatever you're feeling, we've probably felt it. And if we haven't, tell us
100%.
and we want to hear about it. So I
Yeah,
think I think we're trying to build a community here.
that's
And
100% what we're trying to do.
TikTok is really our friend in this case, is that it's giving us such a platform to not only share what we're trying to do and what we're doing, but we are gaining the community so fast, and we are getting all the right people, and it's just amazing to see the comments and the people that are doing the challenges with us and are so genuinely invested in it. Like, that is so cool to see people
Yeah.
really responsive to what we're
Yeah.
doing.
No, everyone is so sweet too. Like I had built a pretty good sized platform on my personal account, and I had tossed the idea around of just converting my main account into the business account because it was already built. But it felt really important that we authentically grew our audience and the community for what it was on itself. I want Dream Life Loading to be its own entity. I didn't want it to run off of me, essentially, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. And I wanted to attract people who wanted what we had. I want them to want to be empowered. I want them to want to better themselves and to be kind. Like the people that we have over on our Dream Life Loading, actually all of our social platforms right now, everyone is just so sweet. I have not had to block anyone. I have not had to remove any comments, like knock on wood, but everyone has just been so excited and kind. And it's just so refreshing to have our little corner of the internet be such a positive place. Like, really, it makes me so happy and I'm so grateful. Like, it feels like Christmas morning. Like this morning, I woke up at 3:50 because I was so excited to like check in on everyone, see what they're doing. I love seeing what you guys are doing when you use hashtags that we can see or tag us and stuff. Like, we do look, we do watch, we do try to respond to everything. Like, we appreciate and value you guys, and you're why we do what we do. Like, we're not doing it just for us. Our closets aren't big enough for everything we've been making, but
I think my favorite part of like sharing this with other people is I see everyone. So we're doing final 40 of the final 40 days of 2022, and this challenge is on day 2 as we're filming this, right? Day 2.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah, because we had like a pre-day.
There's a lot of people that are either commenting or making their own videos saying like, to hold myself accountable, here's what I did for day 1, or here's what I did for day 2. And I think that's the beginning. It's like, it's not just follow along, it's share this with us because we want to hear it. Like, I genuinely want to hear what every single person doing this challenge is doing, because it helps us all grow. Like, that's how we got here, is you sharing what you did yesterday for your journal prompts, and I shared mine, and then now we have 4, or now we have double. I don't know. I can't. But it's all about sharing, and it's all about growing the community.
Yeah. And growing with each other too. Like, we're
doing these challenges with everyone. Like,
exactly. Like, we're doing them, we're participating too. And the other thing is, like, our business already looks so different than it did 2 weeks ago when we opened. Like, it's insane. And we just got verified with another like big brand. So we have a lot of really fun stuff coming and meaningful stuff. Like your capsule wardrobe, I'm so excited for them to be able to see all of that. Like, the products are just so wholesome, and I'm just so excited.
And I think going along, if there's a blog on, we do blogs along with our TikTok and our Instagram and now our YouTube, but I wrote a blog about creating a capsule wardrobe because moving to Italy, I only had 2 suitcases and you can't bring everything. So that was the push that I needed to kind of revamp my wardrobe in a way that I always kind of wanted to do. I just didn't have enough of a reason. So I made that blog, and now I'm actually working on a little series on TikTok. It's on my channel, but it's with Dream Life Loading, because it's all because of the company and the blog. And then what Susan's talking about is a boutique collection that's going to be all capsule wardrobe pieces. So I think that'll be so cool, because people can read the blog and follow along with the TikTok series and then go shop from the pieces that I've picked out after following what I've said about capsule wardrobe. And I think it all goes together. And that's so cool.
Full disclosure, I snuck into she has like lists of stuff and products like saved for this. And I snuck in the other day because I just couldn't help myself. Like, I had to look at what she had, and the pieces are just stunning. Like, it's so European chic. Like, you look good with all of them on. You could wear all 100 pieces on and you just look so good.
That's the point of the capsule wardrobe, Susan. You got it right there. Every
Yep,
piece
it's too good. And our holiday collection launched today, which was kind of like a surprise launch. I woke up this morning not knowing that I was going to be building an entire collection. But all of the holiday stuff is so cute. We have sweatshirts, t-shirts, long sleeves, cups.
I love
you
the
name
cups. I love the cups.
Are so good. There's a glass cup with like the glass straws. Did you see that we have pink glass straws?
No.
Yeah, we do.
As I sit here with this isn't plastic because it's Italy, but whatever, like not cute pink glass.
They're stunning. You simply must see them.
Yep. See, this is the problem now, is that we're creating all these things and it's like,
we want them all.
I want it.
Yep. 100%.
I think we should talk about all the challenges we're doing on TikTok. Just run through them. We already went through 2. Is it just the 100 day? Is that the only other one?
That one in the final 40 right now. Hold on. I need to do one thing and then I'll be back.
Okay. So challenges or series, anything that's going on. I think they're all started on TikTok.
Yeah. And we're trying to convert them over to Instagram. And I guess we could do YouTube shorts too. But right now it's just I would say for these 3 series that we have going on, it's going to stick to TikTok and Instagram. And then the next challenge that we do will eventually move to other platforms, but we're still trying to get the hang of everything. So we have the ongoing challenge that started was the Create Your Dream Life in 100 Days challenge. That is posted exclusively on TikTok, and the full list of 100 days is posted under our blog on dreamlifeloading.co. So that is kind of a spinoff of the challenge that went viral on my main account in, what was that, July? Yeah, it's like July. Wow. Which was Change Your Life in 100 Days, which was super fun, built a great community. And then everyone was like, we want more. And I was like, okay, like we'll do it again. And that's kind of where I was running out of gas on Monday when I was like, I don't know if I can do the 100 days. Like I've already done 100 days. Like we're on day 20. I'm on 120 days of doing this every single day. Like that's a commitment to be posting even just one video every single day. You're coming up with the idea. You're coming up with all that stuff. So
you had to have 200. It's not like you could reuse all 100 from your first. Like you've had 200 different prompts that aren't just throwaway prompts. Like these are things that actually
change your life.
Look at this, Susan. You started that challenge in July, 100 days to change your life. And now look at your life 100 days later.
Oh yeah, it's insane. I'm a business owner.
Like it worked.
Work with my best friend.
You literally, you changed your life. Like if anyone needs proof that it works, like here's Susan. Yeah. Susan's magic. Like literally you did it.
So the Create Your Life in 100 Days, we're on day like, I don't know, 22 or something like that. We're in the 20s somewhere. So on Monday, I was sick of it, and not sick of it. I was tired. I was like burnt out, but we had already created the 100 days, like the outline. So we had done most of the work. And I was like, I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to batch. And so I did. I recorded the rest of the 100 videos on Monday. And now I feel excited again. I'm like, okay, now I can just respond to comments and do the fun stuff. Not that the recording of the videos isn't fun, because it is, but it just, 100 videos, they're usually about a minute long. That's almost 2 hours of my life. Like, it's a lot of time.
And it's not because you want it to be perfect. So you stumble on one word and then you start over, like it's,
and I add like
good
captions. I make sure the captions are spelled right. Then we have hashtags. Like there's a lot that goes into it. And I'm not sitting here like, boo-hoo, I have to make a TikTok. It's just a lot of work. So we have that challenge. And then what day was it that final 40 came to mind? Monday?
Monday. It was the same day.
I was just curious. I was like, Alexa, how many days are left in 2022? She was like 42. I was like, that means I have 2 days to make a list of 40 things, and we're going to do the final 40. Like, done. So that's how the final 40 came up. And that just, I don't think last year I threw my New Year's resolutions together the night of, and they were half-hearted. They were terrible. And none of them got done because I didn't care. I didn't think about them. So I wanted to really give people kind of like the launching pad into 2023, because I really think that this is like I want to say like our year, because we all know how 2020 went. But I really do feel like 2023 is going to be really good. But I think it takes a lot of preparation. And I think starting now, you're 40 days, you can establish habits, you can really refine what you want, and you're going to learn a lot about yourself with this challenge, which I think is like the point, is to reflect and continue to add new things to your lifestyle that'll, better yourself.
And I think when you brought this idea to me, what I loved most about it was that so often with New Year's resolutions, people say, yeah, on January 1st, I'll start this. And it's
No, start
always
today.
with these resolutions, it's always, okay, yeah, I'll start that on. Like, I notice like gyms and anything like
Mhm.
that are so busy for the first 2 weeks of January. And then it's over because you haven't done the background work in order to
Right.
start this on January 1st. So even if half or all the people doing this challenge don't start anything until January 1st, they've done
That's
40 days of planning and goal setting. And if you can spend 40 days doing a 5-minute task about yourself and your goals, you're definitely setting yourself up for success tomorrow, let alone January 1st. Like,
right.
we're setting
And
you up for success.
the great thing about this, which was actually Skye's boyfriend's idea, because he was like, well, what about 30 days? Because it is the holidays. We are busy. But I was like, final 30, that doesn't sound good. Like, we're not doing that. So I was like, we're going to stick with final 40, but we built in 10 be present and rest days, which I get. You need those during the holidays. Even if you love the holidays, like I am Cindy Lou Who at heart, but it's exhausting, like socializing and buying things. Like, it can be financially stressful. It can be triggering to be with family, like it's a lot. So we did build in those 10 days, and they were usually on the holiday or around the holiday. So like Christmas, it's the 24th, 25th, and 26th that you have to just be present and in the moment. Same thing with Thanksgiving. And then it was every Saturday in December. So you do have like one day a week, you're just relaxing and focusing
It
on you.
makes it seem more attainable too, because if you came across that video on TikTok and someone's telling you that there's 40 final days, there's 40 days left of
It's such a tongue
2022,
twister.
you have to do one thing a day for 40 days in a row, like, oh my God, that's a lot.
And that's like the
So,
100 days challenge. It's great in theory, and
mhm,
everyone loves it on the first day. They're like, we're going to start it. We're going to do it. Awesome. 100 days is a long time. And that's coming from me, who does them and records them for the full 100 days. Like, it's too long, especially for someone like who's just trying to start. And I think that's who we're really trying to like nurture, is
yeah,
someone who's wants to change but doesn't know how or where. Like, that's who we want to help, because
someone who's loading their dream life.
yes, your loading bar, no matter where you are on the bar, like, we are going to help you get it full. And
Yeah.
then you have your capsule wardrobe, which we already talked about.
Yep. So yeah, there's three. And that's pretty good because that one will wrap up the second week of December, I think.
Yep.
And then 40 days obviously goes to the end, and then yours goes through February, I think, the 100 days.
Yeah, February like 8th or something like that. Yeah, around
And
there.
I would definitely say that there's a lot of things coming challenge wise, series wise in the new year, and maybe even before that,
Oh,
because who knows?
I was say we do have one for December. Should we talk about it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so we're doing the 25 days of Dream Life Loading, which came up today. Is that, yeah, right?
This is a fun one. Like this,
This
if
one's
40
really fun.
days, like this is a good way to just enjoy it. This is a good little like treat for yourself while you're doing the 40
Yeah.
days of self-growth and self-reflection, 25 days of Christmas.
It's like an advent calendar, but you can just order something every day. So next year we are doing advent calendars. We've decided, like, we're going to figure it out. It's going to be really cool. Like, it's going to be the sickest advent calendar you've ever had. But for this year, because we didn't think of that till this morning, we're like, we have no time to make an advent calendar. And then by the time everyone orders, like, logistically a nightmare, not going to happen,
Yep.
which is fine. We're going to put the time into it for next year. So 25 days of Dream Life Loading is we are going to make 25, make or upload 25 new products, one product a day for December 1st through 25th. You get 11% off if you use the discount code 25 days in all caps. And we're really excited about it. We're choosing like our top favorites from regular vendors. And then we're also going to create special like collection stuff with Dream Life Loading on it.
I think it'll be a perfect way for people to see kind of almost like a look into us too, because we're hand picking or hand make, not hand, but we're creating these
Designing.
products
Yeah.
for this specific situation and for this specific 25 days. So it's even more than just let's go upload a collection and let's make a collection. It's this is so specific for this day. So I mean, my birthday's in December, so I'm already thinking about what we should do for that day. So it's
Yep.
just fun. It'll be a nice, because we'll all do it together. And I feel like Susan and I will probably be ordering way more than we probably should be from,
We ordered stuff yesterday.
yeah, order more. And who doesn't love online shopping? And you know what?
Exactly.
Order it for a gift. Order it for
Yeah.
yourself. It's perfect.
Yep.
You don't need a reason to order, but if
Right.
you need one, we can give it to you.
Right.
So that's December, but we're still in November. So today is the 23rd. Susan, what are you doing
Tomorrow
Thanksgiving?
we're going to my sister's house. So we did Thanksgiving with my husband. That's so weird saying my husband. My husband's family last weekend in Canada. And then tomorrow we're gonna go see my sister and do like my side of the family. And then we'll be back. But we're still gonna hit the gym at 4 a.m. because it's our routine. And
Are
my
you
father-in-law.
really?
Oh yeah. The whole gym gang is going, but my father-in-law has to work tomorrow. And I was like, I feel bad making him work out by himself on
Oh,
Thanksgiving. Like, and we're doing a workout program together. So like it just works out better. It's actually my day to choose. So it's leg day, and Mr. Rob will not be able to walk by the end of it because his legs are so sore.
do you guys have any like Thanksgiving traditions, or is there anything weird or different?
So yeah. We're doing like traditional Thanksgiving this year. But until I was 16, I had never had traditional like American Thanksgiving. We always did a 7-course Italian meal. So like I never
What?
had turkey. Yeah, I had never had turkey on Thanksgiving until like I was 16. And I think my sister Carolyn was like, I want a real Thanksgiving. And so we switched then, and then we just never went back. So
Who came up with the
my,
Italian?
that's what they had always done. My great grandmother was from Italy, and my grandma like carried on the traditions. And then once she passed, my family did it for another 10 years. But then by the time I was 16, Carolyn wanted turkey. So
Yeah. Wow. Oh, I didn't realize that. That's cool.
yeah. So I like it. I'm not sick of it yet because like we didn't do it my whole life. So like Thanksgiving's kind of exciting to do Thanksgiving. But
We
what are you doing? Because you're in Italy and it's not technically, they don't have Thanksgiving, right?
I know. No, I mean, no. It's gonna be weird because so I was here for a month last year, and my birthday and my boyfriend's birthday and obviously Christmas and New Year's all fall in December. So last year it was weird not being with family for that, all of it. Especially my birthday, my brother and I were 2 years apart, but we had the same birthday. So that was the first year we hadn't been together on our birthdays. So it was weird, but at least it was still celebrated. And then obviously Christmas is even bigger here than it is in the States. So it was all celebrated. It was weird and a little sad, a little bittersweet not being with family, but it was celebrated. Tomorrow's going to be really weird because
Yeah.
it's just a normal day here, and it's not, I mean, like I'm sure I'll be seeing on social media and like hearing from people in the States, but it's not anything. So I think that's going to be a little sad. And just change sucks, but it's okay, so Nick does have a game tomorrow, which I'm very grateful for. There you go, that's my thankful on Thanksgiving, because it's not gonna be a normal work and he has practice and it's a normal day. It'll be a little different, and we'll go to the game and maybe we'll go grab a drink after the game, like something to just make it it'll be different. So I think that's good.
Gotta watch
And
it,
then
Fran.
yeah, he said he wants to do something for Thanksgiving on maybe Sunday when we have time to, and we'll find a turkey or make some stuffing or just something.
Yeah.
And I need to find the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. That is my non-negotiable, as I must be able to watch the
I'll
parade.
FaceTime you and just point at the TV, and we don't even have to talk. You can just watch.
I think honestly, even if I have, because we probably won't do it until Sunday. so I
Yeah.
can stream it on YouTube. Like whatever I have to do to be able to see it, because that to me, like that would always be on, and my mom and I would be cooking. Like that is such a core memory for me. So I definitely need to. It'll be a different tradition, but that can carry into the new traditions, I think.
Yeah.
And then Black Friday, one of my favorite Thanksgiving traditions.
I'm gonna show them. I don't know if it'll show up, but I'm gonna try to show.
So while Susan's pulling that up, we have created a Black Friday limited edition apparel collection, and it's only 4 pieces.
Is it
What
gonna?
is? Oh, that looks great.
Thank you.
So black hoodies with either white or pink writing, and they're simple. I think they are gonna look good on absolutely everyone, and they're so easy to wear. They're so minimal,
Yep.
which like so much of our stuff is so adorable, but this is so simple. So I feel like it's a really nice piece if you're like, I don't usually wear anything with a logo. This is for you. But you
Yep.
can only get them on Friday.
For 24 hours. So 11 p.m., which I don't know, did I send you the picture? I activated the discount code and it
Really?
literally says, I took a picture of it. So you guys will get $11.11 off any of either of these sweatshirts, no matter what color, for the 24 hours that they're live on our website. And you can literally see it starts and ends. Oh, this one's probably not gonna load.
There it is. Oh
At
yeah,
11,
start time.
11. Yep.
Perfect. So 11
So we're
11 Eastern on Thursday night through 11
Yep.
11 Eastern on Friday night.
Yep. So 24 hours. Get them before they're gone because they're gonna fly.
I am so excited about these. Like
Ours
we
are coming
put
in.
there-
Ours were shipped today. So
and we finally figured out how to ship things for me
Italy.
to Italy, which is huge
Yep.
because we really weren't willing to pay triple the cost of the item just for the shipping. So the fact that we figured that out for as cheap as we did is pretty amazing. And that was a huge success yesterday, along with all the other things we accomplished.
I know the to-do lists are the things we got done were
Mhm.
insane.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I am so excited. I'm so excited for this. Do we want to do this? I guess we should talk about schedule. Do we want to try and do this weekly, bi-weekly? What are we thinking?
I would like to do a weekly,
Mhm. I
but
think so too.
if we get busy and we miss a week, then we miss a week. But I think if we do bi-weekly and then we miss a week, then we're going almost half a month without one. So I think that weekly would be pretty good.
I agree. So
Um,
you can see us here weekly, and I think we have a lot of topics lined up to talk about, and basically this is just like a coffee talk with Susan and I, and you can just hang out with us and listen to us ramble and rant about our class that we hated and the reason we met,
and
and
we're gonna have guest
Mhm.
appearances. So we're excited
guests
for that.
and some heavier topics, some lighter topics, some like book club style things, just like an easy way to get to know us more instead of just seeing like the face behind TikTok. This is a more informal sit down. So I'm excited for
And
this.
offer you our unsolicited advice
Yeah.
on different things.
And we want to hear yours. If you have advice, if you have suggestions, what do you want to hear us talk about? Let us know
Shoot us
because
an email.
yep. We see it. Like I promise, like Susan said earlier, we see all the comments, we see all the emails, we see everything. We talk to each other about it. We talk to other people about it. We respond to you guys about it. So we really are here to be super, super, super engaged with you guys.
Yep.
And I think we
Favorites of the
talked
week?
about what?
Wait, go ahead.
Well, I think we were
Favorites of
gonna
the
say
week.
the same thing. We wanted to kind of, since there's gonna be a different topic and kind of a different layout for every episode or whatever you want to call this, we thought ending with our favorites of the week would be a kind of nice way to just kind of round things up. So we have one physical favorite each and then one spiritual favorite. So should we start with physical?
Yeah.
And we don't know what each other's are. So it's been like
No,
the
we
one thing we haven't spoken about, which for Susan and I, this is very weird.
Yeah. You texted me this morning at the gym and my father-in-law picks up my phone. He's like, Skye, I'm eavesdropping on your guys' texts. I'm like, shut up. Oh, he's a menace.
Mr. Rob.
Mr. Rob.
All right, should we
So
start?
what's your physical favorite?
Okay. So this probably doesn't come as a surprise to Susan because I am so obsessed with this book. It's called The Happiness Project by Gretchen Rubin. I have read I haven't read a ton of nonfiction books, but I'm trying to get more into it. And I had heard about this one, honestly, from TikTok. And I was like, honestly, that sounds like something I would like. And it has gotten to the point where I choose this book over my fiction books that I'm reading because it's like I have half the book highlighted. Everything she says is so relatable. So basically, before I rant more about how amazing it is, the idea was that she, maybe I'll just read it. She said, Gretchen Rubin had an epiphany one rainy afternoon in the unlikeliest of places, a city bus. The days are long, but the years are short, she realized. Time is passing, and I'm not focusing enough on the things that really matter. In that moment, she decided to dedicate a year to her happiness project. So she just kind of, the first chapter, she goes into all the things that she wanted to change, and she separates it by month. So each chapter is a month, and she incorporates more goals into each month. And she kind of has a theme. Like February, she made focusing on her relationship with her husband. And then March, I think, was about her kids. So she kind of builds on the prior month with the next month and just kind of talks about life and talks about like how she can better herself to make her life happier and make herself happier. But it's real, and I like that the way she talks to the reader is very relatable. It's not like she's trying to be this person that's better than the rest of us. So I think it's a really good read, and I it motivates me. I try and read it every morning. So that is my physical favorite for this week.
I love it. Mine, I actually just finished, but it's my coffee because Starbucks just moved to our town. Well, just moved to our town in like June, but it's a big deal because the closest Starbucks to us was an hour and a half away. And when I say I would, me and my friend Sarah would actually get in the car and drive to Tillin to get our Starbucks, like that was a 3 hour trek for a coffee.
That's a crime.
So now I know what I like. And the baristas at my Starbucks are the best. They're my biggest hype crew. Like when we launched 2 Fridays ago, I walked in and they were all cheering and not like I felt like I was a rock star. Like it was, they were just so sweet and they're so supportive and I love them. So they have mastered my drink and my husband's drink. Chris's drink is so like unique that they have it written on the counter in front of the like machine that they type it in because there's one barista who does it or created it and no one could figure it out. So it literally says Susan's husband's drink. And I just say, I want that, please. And they get it for Chris. And he's always so happy. It's funny. We said this morning, it's like 50 shades of this drink because every morning it comes out a different color, but it always tastes the same depending on who's there.
Interesting.
So interesting. Anyways, my drink though is a grande iced shaken espresso with cinnamon dolce and the classic that they put into it. And then I get pumpkin cold foam on top.
Yum.
And they kill it every time. It tastes like a pumpkin pie. Like you simply cannot go wrong. It is my favorite thing. And it gives me like really good caffeine rush.
Oh, you're making me miss Starbucks so much, Susan.
Sorry. Now I need water.
Yeah, that was a very good favorite. And I need to figure out how to make pumpkin cold foam from home.
A new series.
Yep, there we go. Yeah, Starbucks from home in Italy. That
yeah.
Okay.
What's your spiritual favorite?
Spiritual favorite. I wrote this one down and I have it in two different places because it was too much to rewrite. Okay. Oh no. One moment, please. Need to pull it up. It is Susan and I have been sharing these Twitter threads back and forth, and my dad is the one that keeps sending them to me, and I don't know where he's finding them or how he's finding them, but they're all I guess they're all kind of like 40 things I learned before I turned 40 or 22 things I wish I knew at 22, things like that. But a lot of them are things that really have stuck out to us. And so this one my dad sent me, I think it was just yesterday, but really stuck out to me. So it was a quote from @ZubiMusic on Twitter, and the thread was titled, Things I've Learned by Gaining a Million Followers, Making My First Million, and Talking to a Million People. And the one that stuck out to me was number 12. It said, people usually fail because they lack consistency and perseverance. You can win by refusing to give up when most others would. And I think that's kind of us right now, is that even if we're burned out, you keep going.
That was one of our policies that we made last week was we do not stop. Like We don't need to be a bull in a china shop. We don't have to go a million miles an hour, but we will not stop. Like nothing's gonna knock
We
us down.
don't accept failure. Just keep going.
Well, my favorite is from those threads.
It's
It,
so perfect.
it really is. So mine was the morning kickstart. I do it every morning. I force Chris. I like literally tackle him if I have to, and I make him tell me his answers. And it's the day 2 of the final 40 challenge today. So it's 5 sentences. I don't set a timer because I just write them like as they come out of my brain. So it's one, and you can only answer in one sentence. So one thing I'm grateful for, one thing I'm excited about, a virtue I want to exhibit, something I'm avoiding, and something I need to do. It has made it so much easier to prioritize and get done the stuff that I'm trying to avoid without letting it snowball, because I have that one thing I'm responsible for, and 9 times out of 10 it's done by 8 a.m. Like,
I've noticed that I was afraid to write down things I was avoiding.
yes, yes.
I was scared, like in
But then you write them down, it's not even that bad. And it's like, oh,
I
I can do that.
the thing I wrote down 2 days ago, or was it just yesterday? I had 4 different leads to get it happen by the end of the day, to get it like
Yeah.
rolling. It was like it's this long project, and I've been freaking out about it because it's scary. And I wrote it down, and I had 4 different people helping me to get it done. And
Yep.
so there's the power of manifestation, there's the power of journaling, but also there's the power of confronting what you need to do.
Yep. 100%.
Yeah. It And I like that it's what are you excited for? And it's just it's a nice way to
It's such
start
a
your
positive
day.
way. And even like, so yesterday I said the virtue I want to exhibit is patience. And Chris
Susan,
had,
me too.
really?
Promise.
So Chris had asked me, I don't know, a couple of questions, and I'm like trying to work and I'm trying to walk on my treadmill because I walk 12 miles a day while I work my remote job. And he's asking me something from across the house. And I'm like, I can't hear you. Like, if you need something, come to me. Like, I'm clocked in, I'm working. I work from home, but like, it's still work. And he said something else. And I was like, I got so mad. And then I literally sat back. I said, no, I want to be patient today. I took 3 deep breaths. I walked out into the hallway. What he needed was so simple. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry that I was frustrated with you. Like, changed my whole day. I could have blown up at him and then we would have gotten into a fight and then we both would have left. He would have left for work in a bad mood. I would have stormed in here in a bad mood that we had left things on like a not great note. But instead, I remembered that I had said earlier, I want to be patient. And I was. And then the situation was like so diffused and so good. Like, it's mindset.
It is.
That showed me, like, that spoke volumes to the power of mindset, because I
And
literally
it's
I said I want to be patient. That's not me being patient if I just snap at him right now for over
so
nothing, literally
attainable.
because I couldn't hear him.
Because it's only 5 things. I think so often with journal prompts, it's like, here's this prompt and write 3 to 4 sentences, 3 to 4 paragraphs, or even sentences, whatever, about this one thing. It's one question and one sentence, and it's 5 of them. It's so easy. And honestly, some of them are a word. Like,
Yeah.
what are you most excited for? Weekend. Like, you could be very, very little.
You could literally
about
write
it.
out grateful and then the thing,
Yeah.
excited and then the thing. Like, you don't even have to make it a full sentence if you don't want to.
But it's small enough that I'll do it every day. And with stuff like that, if it's too much, you'll get discouraged, which back to the
It
final
shouldn't
40.
be like a chore. It should be productive and like helpful in your life. And I feel like this method really, really is. I also want to give you a shout out because your blog, Everything Happens for a Reason, is still trending in the top 10% of all Spotify blogs
Really?
for the last 2 weeks. Yep, it says in the last 14 days. So I just want to plug
Woohoo!
you there.
Look at us go, Susan. See, we're doing it every day.
We are. We've had
I
a
did
lot
just
of
get a
beautiful stuff
notification
lately.
that my Mac will be sleeping soon because it's out of battery. So maybe that's a sign.
That's our
My-
cue. But this was so fun. I think that the more we do it, the like more focused it'll be. But I also think like when we're just rambling, they're getting to know us.
And we'll build a layout, we'll build a schedule as we go and start a certain way and end a certain way. But
For
I think
now,
we're
hi.
well, subscribe.
Like,
Follow us on subscribe, like, comment anything. Comment if you liked this. Comment if there's a different way we should be doing this. If you have suggestions about topics we should talk about, people we should have on. Make sure you're following us on TikTok. That's definitely where we live. I feel like everything with this is on TikTok. Check out
Yeah.
our
And
website.
Instagram.
Everything is there. Instagram.
Yep.
And we'll see you in a week.
Awesome.